ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तमा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
नत्वा श्रीभारती
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
धीमहे पञ्चदशीम्
अधीमहे पंचदशी
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
यमात्मा परानन्दः
यमात्मा परानन्दः
परप्रेमास्पदं यतः
परप्रेमास्पदं यतः
मानभुवं हि भूयासम्
मानभुवं हि भूयासम्
इति प्रेमात्मनीक्ष्यते।
इति प्रेमात्मनीक्ष्यते।
Having presented Sat aspect and Chit aspect of Samvit in the shloka, starting from the third shloka up to the seventh shloka, in the eighth shloka, the author presented Ananda aspect of Atma, Paranandaha. Yam Atma Yam Sambit Atma Paranandaha. Sambit is Sat, Nityaha. Sambit is Chit, Swayam Prabha. Sambit is Parapremaspadam. When we say Sambit is Sat, Atma is Sat, when we say to establish the presence of Atma, don't we need a pramanam, the means of knowledge? Without pramanam, how can you establish the existence of a thing? Anything. But anything, for establishing anything, you need a pramanam. Without pramanam, how can you how can you establish the existence of a thing? To understand this, let us take Chakshuhu, eyes, which is responsible for sight perception. It is a pramanam. It is a pramanam for knowing the color and the form of an object. Pashyati anena iti chakshuhu, netram. That by which it is seen, it's called chakshuhu, eyes. Suppose if it is not there, then what would happen? If it is not there, then you cannot establish the form or the color of an object. Object being there, but you cannot establish the color or the form. You cannot know the form or the color of a flower. If eyes are not there, how will you know the form, the rupam or the varna of a flower? Therefore, astitvam of the flower with its form and color cannot be established. Similarly, if Shrotra Pramanam, Shrotrendriya, which is a Pramanam, if it is not there, then how can you establish that there is a sound? There is a sound. There is Shabda. Nobody can know that there is a sound if Shrotrendriya is not there. Therefore, an object is established, the presence of an object is established only when it is a subject matter for a means of knowledge. The siddhi of an object is dependent on the use of the pramanam. It should come under the fold of any pramanam. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Anupalabdhi, Arthapatti or Shabda Pramanam. Any one Pramanam, it should come under. Manadhina Meya Siddhi. There is a famous Vakya, it's a Nyaya statement. Manadhina Meya Siddhi. Mana is Pramana. Pramana Adhina. What? Meya. Prameya. The Prameya meaning the object of knowledge. That is Prameya. Pramana is the means of knowledge. Manadhina. It is dependent on the Pramana. Prameya Siddhi is dependent on Pramanam. The knowledge of an object is dependent on Mana, Pramana. Ma to measure. Pramiyate anena iti pramanam. Without pramanam, you cannot establish the existence of an object. Pramanena vina vastu siddhihi na bhavati. If this is so, extending the same principle to Atma also, to establish the existence of Atma, don't we need a pramanam? How do you say Atma is? Atma asti. How do you say? How do you establish the existence of Atma? That the author had done very beautifully in the verses from 3 to 6. We need to note here that Atma is not pramana adhinam. Atma is not pramana adhinam. Atma, it cannot be proved. Atma cannot be established by any pramana. I said, to establish the existence of an object, you need a pramanam. Now, I say Atma cannot be established by any pramana. Why I say? Because Pratyaksha cannot prove it. Pratyaksha cannot establish Atma, because Atma is not Pratyaksha Vishaya, neither by Anumana, nor by Arthapatti, nor by Upamana, nor by Anupalabdhi, not even by Shastram, Shabda Pramana. Atma cannot be proved. Why? Because it is Atma which handles all the Pramana. Atma handles all the Pramana. That which handles all the means of knowledge doesn't require a means of knowledge to establish its existence. Atma is not an object to establish its existence. It is that which handles all the means of knowledge. It is self-evident, ever-existent, self-evident. It doesn't require a separate means of knowledge. It cannot come under the scope of a particular means of knowledge. If it comes in, it also becomes an object. All pramanams enjoy astitvam because of ever-existing sambit. Therefore, only we say sambit is nityaha. Why we say nityaha? That which is nitya and that which is swayam prabha doesn't come under the fold of any pramanam. Pramanam cannot prove it, cannot establish it. Atma doesn't require anything to make it evident because it is ever-existing, self-evident. Then why Shastram is required? Shastram is not required to establish the existence of Atma. Shastram only removes the error, the erroneous perception of Atma. It doesn't establish the existence of Atma. Shastram as a pramanam doesn't do that, cannot do that. I take myself to be a limited body, mind, sense complex. When the body is gone, I am gone. Because of this adhyaropa, this superimposition, this abhimana, that which cannot be confined, that which cannot be limited is taken to be limited, taken to be confined, taken to enjoy all the attributes of this anatma. Therefore, to remove that, it is error, it is a mistake because of avidya. To remove that only Shastram is required. So the job of Shastram is to remove ignorance. Avidya nivrittihi. Avidya nivrittaye eva Shastra pramanam. Natu atma siddhihi. Atma Siddhi cannot be done by even Shabda Pramana. It is Atma which handles all the Pramana. Therefore, how can Atma be established by a Pramanam? Atma is ever existing. It is Nityaha, it is Swayam Prabha, it is self-evident, self-shining. That Sambit, that Atma is you. I am Nitya Vastu, Aham Nityaha. Aham Nityaha, that the author beautifully established. What is Nitya is Sat. Therefore, Sambit is Sat. Sambit is Chit. That also author said Swayam Prabha iti. Sambit is Sat. Sambit is Chit. Therefore, Chit is Sat. Then what is Satchit? That is the meaning, the true meaning of the word I. Atma, Satchit Atma. This I is placed in so many things. This changing body, the mind, sense. Body cannot be I. Why? Because the body changes constantly, continuously. If the body is I, then I also will disappear. I will not be there, but I am there. With the change of body, with the change of mind, with the change of sense organs, with everything being changing, I, without any change, continues to be. I is connected to all the avasthas, from a Shishu avastha to the Jara avastha, from being an infant till the old age. This I is the link, continuously it is present. Continuous link is that, as a link it is present. It is connected to all the avasthas. What is the connection? Satchit is the connection. Body is gone, mind is gone. They are different from me, they are gone, they all go away. But Aham Sada Bhavati, Satchit Bhavati, Aham Bhavami, Aham Asmi, Aham Bhami. I exist and I shine. Asmi Bhami. In Advaita Makaranda, Lakshmidhara beautifully, he says, Agamasmi Sada Bhami, Kadachinnaham Apriyaha, Brahmaivaha Matas Siddham, Satchit Ananda Lakshanam. It's a beautiful shloka. Aham Asmi Sada Bhami. Kadachit Aham na Apriyaha Bhavati. Aham Kaha, Brahma Eva. Aham. And Aham Satchit Ananda Lakshanam, Brahma iti. So, since Aham Asmi Sada Bhami, therefore I don't need a pramanam for establishing myself, because it is self-evident, self-shining. It's Swayam Jyoti. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a section called Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam. The essence of that Brahmana is presented by Shankaracharya in Ekashloki. Ekashloki means it is a Prakarana Grantha which has got only one shloka. Ekashloki. Kim Jyotis Tava Bhanumana Hanime Ratrau Pradipadikam Syadevam Ravidipa Darshana Vidhau Kim Jyotirakyahi me Chakshustasya Nimila Nadi Samaye Kim Dhirdhiyo Darshane Kim Tatrahamato Bhavan Paramakam Jyotis Tadasmi Prabho. So beautifully it is the teaching of Swayam Jyoti Brahmana is condensed in this shloka. Kim Jyotihi Tava. Tava Kim Jyotihi. What is the source of light for you? During the day, Ahani, Suryaha. Suryaha, that Bhanuman, Bhanuman is a Jyotihi. Kim Jyotis Tava Bhanumana Hanime. Agani, in the day, Bhanuman is a Jyoti, Jyotihi. Ratro Kim Jyotihi, in the night, what is the Jyoti? Because in the night sun is not there, then what is the source of light for you in the night? Ratro Deepaha is a Jyotihi. Deepa, the lamp is the Jyoti. Evam Ravi Deepa Darshana Vidau Kim Jyotihi. What is a Jyoti in seeing the sun and the lamp? There must be the source of illumining the sun and the moon itself. The sun which is illumined in the daytime, which is available for you, available for your perception, and the lamp which is available for your perception in the night. What is the Jyoti, the source of illumining them? Chakshuhu Jyotihi. Eye is a source of illumination of Surya and the Deepa. Or in the night, there is moon. Moon is the Jyoti. So, eye is a source of illumination for them. Fine. Then what is the Jyoti when the eyes are closed? Chakshuhu Nimilanadi Samaye. Kim Jyotihi Tava Dhihi Jyotihi. Dhihi Buddhihi. Buddhihi Jyotihi Bhavati. Even when the eyes are closed, what is the Jyoti? Intelligence is the source of illumination. What is that which reveals the Buddhi and the functions of the intelligence? It is I, myself. Diyaha darshane kim jyotihi? Aham tatra jyotihi. It is I, myself, is a Jyoti, which reveals even the Buddhi. Therefore, self, Atma is Param Jyotihi, the ultimate light. Tat Jyotihi Ahamasmi, I am that Jyoti, I am that. Kim Tava Jyotihi Agani Bhanuman Ratrau Pradipadikam Me Jyotihi, Mama Jyotihi. That is the source of light for me. Syadevam Ravidepa Darshana Vidau Kim Jyotihi. Akyagi, please tell me what is the Jyoti for the perception of Ravi, that is Surya, and Deepa, the lamp. Chakshuhu Jyotihi Bhavati. Tastil Nimilanadi Samaye Kim Jyotihi. Dhihi Jyotihi. Intelligence is the Jyoti. Diyaga Darshane Kim Jyotihi. What is a Jyoti? What is the light for illumining the Buddhi, the intelligence? Tatra Aham Jyotihi. Ataha Bhavan Paramakam Jyotihi. Tat Asmi Prabho. Lord, that is myself. It is like the teacher asking question and student replies. What is the Jyoti? What are you done? Tat Asmi, Agam Asmi. Tat Jyotihi Agam Asmi Prabho. I am that. I, the Atma, is Swayam Jyotihi. Asmi, Aham Asmi Swayam Jyotihi. Therefore, Sambit is Swayam Prabha. It is self-effulgent, self-shining. That which is self-effulgent is the witness of everything. It is self-effulgent, self-shining. Therefore, we say Sakshi Chaitanyam. We use the word Sakshi. It is a witness. Sakshi Chaitanyam Swayam Jyotihi. In Drigdrisha Viveka, which was also authored by Vidyaranya Muni, he presents the idea, the beginning, second shloka. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik Tadrishyam Driktumanasam Drishyadi Vrittayas Sakshi Drige Vanatu Drishyate. The form of an object is perceived. Rupam Drishyam. Rupam meaning form. Drishyam, it is available for a perception. Who is the perceiver of the form? I is the perceiver. Lochanam, Netram, Chakshuhu is a drik, is a seer, is a perceiver. I is a perceiver of the form. But I also is perceived. It is also an object for the perceiver. Who perceives the I? Mind is the perceiver. Drik, manasam drik. Manasam, manaha is a drik, is a seer. So the drik is transferred from the I to the mind. With regard to the form of an object, drik, the perceiver is I. With regard to the perception of the I, manasam, manaha is the perceiver. Then is the mind the final one? No. The mind with all its modifications, it is also available for perception. It is also an object of perception. Jivrittayaha drishyaha. Who perceives the mind? Who perceives the flow of thoughts in the mind? It is Sakshi Chaitanyam, is a perceiver. And who is a perceiver of Sakshi Chaitanyam? We cannot go on like this. We have to stop there. Sakshi is the ultimate perceiver. Why? Because Sakshi is the ultimate perceiver who is not available for perception of anything. That is why we said it doesn't come under the scope of any pramanam. It is the one which illumines all the pramanam. Because Atma Sambit is the witness of everything, is ever witness. It is not perceived by anything. Vijñātāram mare kena vijaniyat. Who can know that which is a knower of everything? In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 2nd chapter said Vijñātāram. Vijñāta. Atma is Vijñāta. So Vijñātāram Atmanam kena vijaniyat. Who can know that Atma which is a knower of everything? Na anyaha ataha asti drashta. There is no other seer other than this. It is a seer. It is the ultimate seer. Saha veti vedyam na cha tasya asti veta. He is a knower of everything, but there is no one or nothing which can know him. So therefore, it is the ultimate seer. It is Sakshi, it is a witness, it is Sambit, Nityaha, it is Chit, Swayam Prabha. Who is that? It is, who is that? It is myself, Atma, Sambit. Therefore, Aham, Sachit Aham, Nityaha, Swaprakashaha. It is very well established. Therefore, this I cannot be in the body. It can be confined to the body. It has to be Chaitanyam. It is Chaitanyam. And this Atma, Chaitanyam, it is Paranandaha, it is Ananda Swarupaha, limitless Ananda. For this, only a Hetu is given in this shloka. Atma is Parapremas Padam. Atma is Vishaya for Paraprema. Atma is the object of love. This is the Hetu. Therefore, Atma is Parananda Swarupaha. Atma is the Paksha, which we saw in the last class. Even before that, Atma is the Paksha. Sadhyam is, Atma is Parananda, is Sadhyam. Hetu is Parapremaspadam. Parapremaspadam means love without any condition. So therefore, the Vyapti is wherever there is limitless love. Wherever there is limitless love, there is limitless Ananda. Whatever is loved, it must be the source of Ananda. We love an object because it is a source of Ananda, happiness. We don't love an object that doesn't give Ananda. If Ananda derived from the object decreases, diminishes, then love for the object also diminishes. This is our daily anubhava, our anubhava in the Vyavahara. You love an object because it gives you Ananda. You stop loving an object because it doesn't give ananda anymore. Therefore, where this ananda is located, Atma is Parananda Swarupaha. This we have established by Yukti, by simple Vyapti. Therefore, only we say Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, which we discussed elaborately in the last class. Everything is loved for whose sake? It is not for the sake of the object, it is for one's own sake. Atmanastu. I love something. For what? For my own ananda. For my sake only, everything becomes an object of love. If Atma is a source of ananda, then everybody should love themselves. Then how is that some people hate themselves? Therefore, they go to the extent of even committing suicide. They don't hate Atma, they hate the unhappy self, the displeased self. They do not hate Atma. Hatred is not against Atma. How do you say it? How do you prove it? In the beginning, a suffering person wants to kill oneself. The person, he wants to kill himself because suffering is too much. He wants to put an end to the suffering. When the suffering ends naturally, when the suffering goes away, then he wants to live. He doesn't want to die then. Therefore, what does he hate? Does he hate the suffering? Does he hate the pain? Or does he hate the Atma? He hate only the dukkham, sufferings, not the Atma. He cannot hate oneself. How can that which is Sat, Chit, Ananda, Swarupa be then a source of hatred? It cannot be. Therefore, only I want to live forever. I don't want to die. I don't want to go away. I want to continue forever. This love is there for everybody. It's for everyone, it is there. Mana bhubam. Mana bhubam hi bhuyasam. Let there not be end for me. Sada bhuyasam. May I be there always. So from this we can derive the Vyapti that Atma is a source of Ananda. Atma is the Vishaya for love. Therefore, a source of Parananda. Wherever there is Prema, there Atma is. Wherever there is an object which is a source of love, there is Parananda. The Hetu is pervaded by Sadhyam. One loves so many objects because they are conducive to happiness. But Atma is not like other objects of love. It is not an object. It is not like other objects of love. Love for others is not really love. What really one loves is only Atma. All other love are because of the love for Atma. This has been very clearly established by Vidyaranya Muni in this shloka. Yamatma paranandaha parapremaspadam yataha parapremaspadam iti. Then in the next shloka, the author says, which we will read, shloka number 9. Tat prematmartaman yatra naiva manyartamatmani atastat paramam tena paramanandatatmanaha. How does one say that Atma is Paraprema's Padatvam, the greatest love? What is the Pramanam for seeing this? Pramanam means what is the logic, or how do you say that? Anyatra yat prema tat atmartam. Beautiful sentence. Anyatra yat prema asti tat atmartam eva asti. Wherever love is there for any other object other than oneself, that is what anyatra. Prema, love. That prema is for the sake of oneself. Atmartham. Atmartham eva. It is not for the sake of the object. It is not for object's sake. It is for my sake. I love that object because that object pleases me. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. That Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is beautifully condensed here. Anyatra yat prema tat atmartham. Patihi is prema. Jaya is object of love. Putra is object of love. Pitta is object of love. Pashu is object of love. Brahmana object of love. Kshatra object of love. Everything is object of love. Anyatra yat prema kimartham. Atmartham eva. Atmanastu kamaya eva. That is what here the Vidyaranya Muni says. Tat prema atmartham. You have to split sandhi or the melanam. Tat prema atmartham. Anyatra. So anyatra yat prema asti tat atmartham. Na eva anyartham atmani. If love is there for object, it is not for the object. Anyatra na, it is only for the sake of Atma, because the object pleases me. Therefore, Atmartham eva. If love is for the person's or object's sake, then the love should continue without any condition. But it is not. It doesn't happen like that. The love for the object or the person diminishes under certain conditions. So all love is conditional, whereas love for Atma is unconditional. If at all there is unconditional love, it is love for Atma. Any other love is conditional only. It is how it is. It has to be like that only. There is no other way. What one loves is unconditionally is oneself. Any love is conditional only. This is a fact. This is the fact. This is not a bitter fact. This is natural. Love. It doesn't mean the love for other person, all we should dismiss it. It is an expression of self-love. First you have to love yourself. It is there naturally. And love for other object proves that you love yourself. Atmani, first is anyatra yat prema tat atmartham. Atmani yat prema tat atmartham. Love for objects other than oneself, it is atmartham, that is first part. And atmani yat prema tat atmartham. My love for myself is atmartham eva. I love myself for what? Because I am the object of love. It is parananda, therefore it doesn't have any condition. Therefore it is unconditional. I love myself. Whatever may be the time or place or situation, I never hate myself. Atmani yat prema tat atmartham. Anyatra yat prema tat atmartham. So na evam anyartham atmani. Atmani yat prema atmartham. Na anyartham. Not for anyone's sake, not for any object's sake. Na anyartham atmani prema. Atmani prema atmartham. Anyatra prema atmartham. Na anyartham. Not for any other sake. It is atmartham. The love for Atma is atmartham. The love for the object, any person is atmartham. Na anyartham. Not for the sake of the object or the person. Therefore, ataha tat prema paramam. Therefore, that love for Atma is paramam. It is unconditional. It is limitless. This love for Atma is universal. Everybody loves oneself. Therefore, the love for Atma is paramam. It is unconditional. And love for objects, that is not unconditional. It is conditional, and therefore it is not universal. It is not universal. Everybody doesn't love the same object. The love for objects are individual. Namaste. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Now.
Yeah, now we can hear you, Shanti. Okay.
When the power goes away, yeah, there is disruption. Anyway,
So.
I don't know where I stopped. So, tat prema paramam bhavati. So the love for Atma is unconditional. The love for objects is conditional. Because the love for objects is conditional, therefore only the love for object is different for different person. Not everybody loves the same object. The love for objects are individual. It changes from person to person. If love for an object is also unconditional, it is universal, then it becomes a problem. Then everybody will love the same person or same object. There will be competition for the person. There will be competition for gaining the object. Thank God it is not. The love for how beautiful it is. Otherwise it becomes a problem. The love for objects is conditional. Because it is conditional, therefore it is not universal. I love one object, you love other object. In spite of that, there is competition because everybody loves a particular thing. Therefore, only competition. Whereas what about Atma? The love for Atma is unconditional. That is myself. This is paramam prema. Ataha tat paramam prema. Unconditional. Unconditional. So when others fulfill the conditions for my happiness, then it is conditional love. Aparam prema. So I love a person only when the person fulfills or when the person pleases me. So the love for the person is aparam prema. This is not really love. That love over a period of time, it evaporates. Love for the person or love for the object. Therefore, conditional love is not real love. It is that love is only vyavaharika. For vyavaharika purpose, that love is. It is an expression of self-love only. Whereas Atma is always, it is love. Whether it is vyavaharika or it's paramarthika. Therefore, what to talk about vyavaharika? In all avastha, in all reality, it is love. Therefore, tena is tasmat. Therefore, tena is, it is tasmat. Therefore, atmanaha paramanandata. Atma is limitless love. Paramanandata, the status of ultimate ananda. So where there is love, then the Atma as a source of love is there. So Atma is limitless love. Where there is more love, there is more degree of happiness. Where love is maximum or limit or complete or limitless, there Ananda is limitless. Where is it? It is myself. Therefore, Paramanandata, Atmanaha Paramanandata Asti. Tena eva. Because it is Paramam, therefore, Atmanaha Paramanandata. All other love is Atmartham. If one discovers that, then what really one wants is the love for the sake of Atma is that is a love. The love is only for the sake of Atma, is for oneself. Therefore, Shastram says, you are that love, you are that happiness. If you understand this fact, then you are Atma Paranandaha. You don't need to beg others for love. Begging love from others, it is sheer ajnanam, ignorance, and that also will not last. I don't need love from others to be happy. Whether others love me or not, I continue to be happy because I am happy. Not happy, even not that happiness doesn't come and go. I am happy. The very meaning of the word happy is myself. Shastram says you are the nature of happiness. Your nature is happiness. That is what Paramanandata. So, therefore, you will have Paraprema for Atma. Therefore, because Shastram says you must have Paraprema for Shastram, we have to cultivate this love for Shastram. It is Shastram that only reveals. Therefore, Paraprema. Anyatra tat prema atmartam evam atmani vidyamanam prema atmanah prema anyartam na bhavati ataha tat prema paramam tena atma paramanandata siddhi bhavati. So Atma is therefore Satchit Anandaha. So with the help of Tarka, a simple logic, the author has established this Atma is Paramanandaha. Anyatra Swa Atirikte Putradav Yatu Prema Tat Atmartam. I am reading from the text, from the commentary, second line. Anyatra Swa Atirikte, other than oneself. Putrado, putra, jaya, etc., pashu, etc. Yat prema, tat atmartam. Tesham atma sheshatva nimittakam eva, na swabhavikam eva. That love for them is atma shesha. It is for the sake of atma only. It is not swabhavikam. It is naturally love for that objects are not there. It is for the sake of atma. Na swabhavikam evam atmani vidyamanam prema anyartam na. The love for the atma is not for the sake of any object, anything else. It is for the sake of atma. Atmanaha anya sheshatva nimittakam na bhavati. Atma, the love for atma is not dependent on anything. It is, that's why it said unconditional. Kimtu atmatva nimittakam eva ataha nirupadikatvat tat paramam niratishayam. Therefore, atma is niratishaya. The love for atma is niratishaya paramam. Tat paramam is niratishayam. It is unsurpassing, unconditional. Palitam aha tena iti. That is palitam, it is established. Aha. Tena niratishaya premas padatvena atmanaha paramanandata niratishaya sukha swarupatvam siddham. By that simple logic, we can establish the paramanandata, that is niratishaya sukha swarupatvam of atma. It is siddham, it is established. Then the next shloka we will read. Itham Satchit Paranandaha Atma Yuktya Tatha Vidham Param Brahma Tayos Chaikyam Shrutyanteshu Padishyate. Ittam yuktya atma Satchit Paranandaha iti siddhaha. Yuktya evam. Ittam is evam. In this manner, evam ittam prakarena atma is Satchit Paranandaha. It is Siddhaha by what? Yuktya, by logic. Tatavidam, Tatavidam, the same way, Parabrahma, Shrutyanteshu teshu upadishyate, in the Shrutyanta. What is Shrutyanta? Shrutyanteshu upadishyate, Shruti Anta, that is Vedanta. Shruti is Shastram, Anta is end. What is the end portion of the Shruti? There is Veda, Vedanta. So Vedanta, that is Upanishad. Shrutyanta means Upanishad. So Upanishad su upadishyate. In the Upanishad, it is presented, it is taught. What? Parabrahma. Tathavidam Parabrahma. Tathavidam Parabrahma. The same way Parabrahma. Param Brahma also. Param Brahma also in the same way. What? Sachit Paranandaha Sachidanandaha iti. So Atma is Sachit Ananda, that we have established by Tarka, a simple logic. In the same way, Brahma also, which is established by the Upanishad. So Yuktya Atma Sachit Paranandaha iti Siddhaha. That is what we have done so far. Tathavidam, in the same way, Parabrahma api Sachit Anandaha. In the same way, Param Brahma. How do you know? Shrutyanteshu upadishyate. It is presented in the, taught in the Upanishad. Tayoho cha aikyam. The aikyam between the two, Tayoho, the Atma and this Param Brahma, it is what revealed in the Upanishad. The aikyam, the Mahavakyam, Aikyartha Bodhaka Vakyam, Mahavakyam, that Mahavakya is revealed by the Shruti. This is Pramana Pratipaditam. Pramana, the Shastra Pramanena Pratipaditam, revealed one by the Shastram only. There is no independent Yukti, the logic, to establish this. There is no independent Yukti. Kevala Tarkena, not possible. So, there is a logic which is not based on Shruti. That logic is called Shushka Tarka, not supported by Shruti. It is not based on Shruti. It is Kevala Tarka. It is Kevala Tarka. And there is a logic based on Shruti. That is Shruti Sammata Tarka. Therefore, two types of logic. So, Shruti Sammata Tarka or Shushka Tarka. Two types of logic. Shastra says Aham Sachidanandaha. This is not Pratyaksha Pramana Vishaya. This is, we build an Anumana. Aham Sachidanandaha, Shastram says, and we build an Anumana, a Yukti, and we established. But what is the starting point? From where did we get that Aham Sachidanandaha? That is Shastram only. We used the Yukti, the Tarka, which is Shruti Sammata Tarka, which is connected to, which is in keeping with the Shastram, to establish Atma is Sachit Paranandaha. What about Param Brahma? Param Brahma also Sachit Paranandaha, that is revealed by the Shastram. And Aikyam of Atma and Brahma is revealed by the Shastram. For the Shastram is the only Pramana. We cannot establish by logic. So that is what here the author says, Ittam Sachit Paranandaha Atma Yuktya. It is, we have Yukti by applying Yukti. Simple logic. In the shloka, if you see 3 to 9, author, he established Sambit is Sat, Chit, Swayam Prabha, Yukti by logic. How do you say that Atma is Sat, Chit, Ananda? Because Shastram says. What Shastram says, that is presented through Tarka. This is Yukti. It is not Yukti is the Pramanam which can replace the Shastram. Remember, that is not. This is this type of Tarka, that is presenting what is Pratipaditam by the Shastra, by Yukti, is called Shruti Sammata Yukti, Tarka. That's what the author had done. And then he proved Atma is Sachit Paranandaha. If it is not revealed by the Shastram, how do you know Atma is Sachit Paranandaha? Not possible. Atma says Shastram says Atma is Satchit Paranandaha. Therefore, applying Yukti, we have presented beautifully. Atma is Satchit Paranandaha. Tatavidam Param Brahma api. The same way Param Brahma also. Tayogo Aikyam Eva Shutyanteshu Padishyate. The Aikyam of this Atma and Brahma is what is presented in the Vedanta. Shutyanteshu Upadishyate. More on this we will see. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
Guruji, can I ask something?
Yes.
So for this unconditional love for Atma, is it true in the case of a Jnani also?
Is it true in the case of
Jnani?
Why this question is, of course, Jnani is one who has discovered that Atma to be myself. So it's for unconditional love. That he sees himself in everything. Atma upamyena sarvatra sarvamcha. He sees everything, everybody as not separate from oneself. That is the vision Jnani has. Therefore, the love for others is love for the Atma. That Atma being all pervasive, everything is Atma. Therefore, Jnani sees himself in everything, every being. So there is no difference between the Atma.
Okay.
There are no many Atmas. There is only Atma. Therefore, only he loves. Therefore, only he loves.
Yeah. Okay. Understood.
Love for
I was thinking.
every being, every person, every the Jagat is because of self-love. Therefore, it is unconditional. Therefore, Jnani only can really have unconditional love. Yes.
Okay.
Because
I misunderstood.
yes.
Yeah.
Bhagavan Krishna says, Jnani to Atmaiva me matam. Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, Jnani is most dear to me. It means what? Jnani, because he has Jnanam, real true Jnanam of oneself, therefore he can only really love. That's why this. That's why if you take the name Dayananda, the Daya is an expression of love for others. That is possible only for a Jnani. How beautiful that name, that Daya is there. Daya is, see, the Daya, the compassion. We also have Daya, compassion. When we see a person suffering, we empathize and therefore we sympathize. But the love of a Jnani is without any condition. Very well knowing that the person is acting. In fact, even when the person is acting, the Jnani will love the person. He cannot hate the person. And that is, we have seen in the life of Swamiji himself. That's why the name is Dayananda. That's why that the connection came, Daya. It's an expression of that love, self-love. We all think the more we study, the more I think personally, the more is revealed about the word Daya. Still, I'm exploring to understand really Daya. Okay, not a simple thing. Just really simply because we understand Daya in our common sense, in a common way. Daya means compassion, but it is not that simple. Daya. Daya is connected to Atma. This compassion is not out of sympathy, not out of empathy. It is naturally there. It's a lakshanam of Atma. That is how I see. The more we study, the more is revealed about the name of Swamiji also. They are how beautiful the name is. So why I said this, because Jnani, the love, what Jnani has is unconditional. Because he sees himself in all beings. Therefore, the love for Atma is expressed in the form of love for others, because others are not different from me. Therefore, it is unconditional.
Oh, okay. Because we discussed when a person loves an object, it is for his own sake, not for the sake of object. But at the same time, a jnani is not supposed to expect anything from any action.
Yes.
So I got confused. Okay.
Okay. Understand? And now you understand, right?
Yes, Guruji. Dhanyavada.
Thank you.